Hey there, everybody. New studio, new intro. I'm just here to remind you guys before you listen to today's episode, make sure you follow the show and subscribe wherever you listen. If you watch the show on YouTube, make sure you subscribe there, you comment, you like, and you share. Also, follow my social media, all of it, both Instagrams, my Twitter, follow it all. Your life is to be consumed by my life. Tell everybody that you know about me. Start conversations with the fact that the Smoking Simian is your favorite podcast. Bombard everyone that you know and love with the Smoking Simian. Send them links day in and day out of my show, of the episodes, of my posts. Get thrown out of your house because the only thing that you care about is the Smoking Simian. Do it. Enjoy today's episode. Bye-bye. Hello, everybody, and good morning. Thank you for tuning in to the show on a Monday, almost through the month of August. I want to preface this episode with, in case you guys hear some industrious noises outside, they are paving the parking lot across the street. Yes, the same one that I almost got towed from. The one that we're supposed to park in. I almost got towed from it. Oh, bless me. Thank you. It's getting towed, so if you hear that, if you hear toothless Nimrods screaming at each other outside, it's because they're tarring a parking lot. A parking lot that'll be nice now. And people will still not be able to park in it. Every time I go, there's always a fucking problem. There's people parked like a crooked teeth. You ever see a kid? You remember when you were in elementary school and you saw a kid with like fucked up teeth? It was before they could get braces. You looked at him, you're like, damn, that kid's gonna need fucking... They're going to need braces, that kid. Look like a loose xylophone. A xylophone where the bells have just kind of, they're all loose and jagged now. You got to kind of put a little TLC into them to make it work. But that's what the cars look like every time I pull up. It's a pain in the fucking ass. And nobody gets towed. They all get to be like, hey, we park like dog shit and we'll never get towed. But you park superbly, and we will tow you. If you park like someone who knows how to park, you can get towed. But anyway, what the fuck am I even talking about? What a crazy turn of events on Saturday. Holy fucking Christ. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Leon Edwards, the baddest man on the planet for a while now, guys. Like, he's going to be, like, from here on out, for like, probably till the next time they fight, he is the baddest man on the fucking planet. I don't know if anyone else is nobody's going to do anything as cool as that. And the only thing that can overtake that is if Usman comes back and beats him. I mean, Leon, in a third fight, it's so hard to say because the fight... was definitely going to a unanimous decision for Usman. But in the first round, Leon Edwards took down Kamaru Usman and held his back for most of the round. First time it's ever happened in Kamaru's career, his entire career. Not just in the UFC, if I'm correct. Maybe not. Maybe it's just in the UFC. I don't know. Either way, it's a pretty fucking impressive thing, right? Never being taken down, and then you get taken down from a fucking bloke from England. You know what I'm saying? Took his ass down. And then, from there on out, Usman started, putting hands on him and hitting him with power shots and then taking him down and kind of smothering him and making it a tough, wearing fight. A fight where most other athletes, or a lot of other athletes, would crumble. They would be broken. They would break. That's Kamaru's style. If he doesn't knock you out or doesn't somehow change the fight with his power shots, he's going to wrestle you. He's going to wrestle you because he knows he can, and he's not afraid of getting taken down himself. So that's what he's got. And he's going to wear on you, and he's going to beat on you, and he's going to fucking break you. That's what it is. And his pace is insane. It's nuts, right? That's his style. And he did that to Leon for 3 rounds, pretty much the whole time. Everyone was watching like, oh, come on. Leon, you gotta go, you gotta go, you gotta do it, you gotta do something. You know what I'm saying? He needs emergency, and everyone, and he's not. He's just taking his time, still taking his time, taking his time. His corner's screaming at him, "Come on, Rocky!" Like the movie, like the movie. It was literally an Angelo Dundee. I think it was Sugar Ray Robinson that he said, or Sugar Ray Leonard. He said, "You're blowing it, kid." Went out and KO'd him in the 12th round or whatever, the last round of the fight. And it was that exact same shit. He went out in the 5th round, losing the 5th round, if I remember correctly. And he was dead to rights. If they go to scorecards, Leon, you lose. And he threw the most beautiful fucking combination. Like, beautiful. Anybody that looks at that and says, that was a lucky shot. Lucky shot. You don't know anything, really. You should just go watch baseball and eat nachos and fart in your chair and just... Not saying that MMA enthusiasts don't do that too, but go do it over there, okay? We're over here. My point is that particular sequence was so nuanced and high level and so much of what Leon Edwards is actually capable of. Because he's been written off for years. He's had, fucked up fights when he, poked Bilal Muhammad and the fight ended that way, and he almost lost to Nate Diaz and all these after beating him up for 4.5 rounds. But he showed him the left, just like Rogan said 1,000 times if you watched it. But he showed him the left, and Kamaru, being in a conventional orthodox stance, right leg back, he slid off to his right because that left, you want to get to the outside of the elbow. You know what I'm saying? You want to get to the outside of the punch. You don't want to slip. You can slip inside, and in this case, if he slipped inside, he wouldn't have got, as head kicked. But he slipped to the right, which plays exactly into Leon's favor. And he hit him in the head with a fucking baseball bat and KO'd him with, less than a minute left? 58 seconds left? I mean, come on, guys. And then him screaming on the mic, headshot, pound for pound, headshot, dead. That's it. Like, oh my God. That shit is insane. And that guy, seeing something like that, that's a real life success story. That is a real life success story. Watching that kid who's been completely written off, nobody thought he would become champ, let alone beat Kamaru Usman, the pound-for-pound best in the world. And he went and lost most of the fight and head kicked him. That's a fucking success story. That's fucking insane, dude. You can't write that. You can't write that. And I mean, it's few and far between those things. Success stories now are getting, 100,000 views on an Instagram video. Right? Right? Isn't that like a big thing? Like when I partake in it. I'm trying for that to happen. I put that stupid fucking skit up I did the other day of the homeschooling, which is an idea I had on the pod. I mean, that was the podcast that, a couple episodes ago. But that's a success story now. Now I get free Blue Chew. I get free Blue Chew because I can sell it to you guys, and you guys make money on me. That's a success story. That would be nice. That's what I am trying to do. So that would be my Leon Edwards moment, right? Me and other people like me, being podcasters, comedians, people doing, trying to do creative shit, but specifically this, right? Specifically this. My success story is getting you guys to buy some stupid fucking thing from me, use a code, and then I get a percentage of that, right? That's me winning the welterweight UFC World Championship in the last minute against the pound-for-pound best with a phenomenal head kick combination. It's basically the same, guys. That's how we look at it now. Big success story. Wow. I remember when he was making videos in his basement, and then holy shit, now he's on a commercial for Crystal Light. Would you look at that? Right? Isn't that crazy? Remember when they were like, it's still a thing. Being an influencer has become a thing now, but before, early on, when you would see people who got big on Vine or people who got big on, just little niche things, and then you see him on a commercial on TV, you're like, wow, that guy blew up. But did he? Did he really? Or did they? All they did was, go from dancing and singing alone to dancing and singing on a big set. And now they're making money, but it's good. That's our success story, though. That's our success story. It pales in comparison to, what happened from Leon Edwards versus Kamaru Usman. I notoriously, as of recent, have not given a fuck about sports. There was a campaign that I had against sports for a little while, but when you watch something like that, but in my defense, it never included combat sports, and this is actually a defense for that. So fuck you. I'm not even gonna switch up on it. I was gonna, but I'm not, because combat sports produce the best highs across any fucking discipline. That shit does not happen in baseball. Things that are similar, things that are relatively similar, sure. But if you're down, 10 runs in the ninth, right, and you got you're against the best closer, you hope you can get 3 at bats. Well, obviously, you're going to get 3 at bats. You hope you can get more. You can't just hit a home run and everybody wins. You could keep scoring. You could go on a run, I guess, before they switch out the pitcher or before something happens. But, it's nothing like being able to just switch somebody's lights off and now you win. You were losing the whole time. You were losing the fight. You were losing the whole fight, but you had the equalizer of a fucking missile, a laser-guided missile, and you were able to put it on the person in the right moment, in the exact moment where it needed to happen. If he didn't do it then, it may have never happened. There was 58 seconds left. He had to have done it then. There's no, we'll make it up on the next play, or we'll make it up on, in the next whatever, the next quarter. No. It was literally dead to rights. You have to KO him, and he did it in magnificent. Kamaru Usman was asleep with his eyes closed, eyes open. Jesus, I fucked that up, huh? His eyes open. He was asleep with his eyes open, guys. That is insane. I'd never seen anything like that. Open like his. He was his eyes were open like someone was holding them open. Like he was being tortured. Like they were holding his eyes open and he had to and there was splashing water on his face or some shit. It was sensational. One of the craziest fucking things I've ever seen live. It made being at the sports book for once worth it because I didn't make any money, right? Even though I didn't make any money, I got to see that and there was a big crowd there. That was cool. Cool moment. But nonetheless, doesn't make up. Cool moments don't pay for the bills right now. Maybe one day they will, but not right now. Anyway, we are almost through the month of August. This week, I will be in Maine. I've been talking about this for fucking months. It's gonna be a good fucking time. I'm excited. I got put on a third show. Cannabis comedians on cannabis or chronic comedians or some shit. I don't know. It's weed stuff. So maybe I'll get real stoned and be real goofy on stage. Who knows? Who knows what'll happen? But it's gonna be fun. That'll be good. And then I thought there was something else that was going on this month. Aside from that. Oh, well, I wanted to say that I'll be doing a podcast there, at least one, maybe two. So that'll be good. Next Monday's episode will be there. It'll be in the Airbnb that we got right on the beach. Everyone talks about Maine and how the people are hillbillies and they only fuck each other if they're family, and they're dirty, disgusting mountain people. Everyone says those things. Everyone says that they're inbreds who can barely do basic arithmetic. Their reading is poor. They all read at a third grade level, regardless of age. Unless you're in the third grade, then you read far less. But once you get to the third grade, then after that, it's as far as they'll go. I understand. That's what they say in Maine. But let's be honest, guys. Old Orchard Beach is nice, okay? It's a nice place to at least look at. And what more can you ask for? When you really look at the landscape of a lot of places, you look at the landscape, you look at the infrastructure, you look at the quality of people that are walking around, or not even the quality, maybe just the type, the demographic of people walking around. And I don't mean race, I don't mean any of that. I mean more like socioeconomic status or cultural differences that people have. That's more what I'm talking about. Differing of conditions within the same area and how abundant that is. But, you look around and you see a lot of these places look like they don't look great, guys. I mean, I spent a lot of time in Connecticut because I live here, right? But you drive through this state. You drive through Connecticut. I mean, I've done a lot of driving. There's a lot of places that look like shit, guys. There are a lot of places. And the places that look nice, nobody wants to be there, right? Nobody wants to be there. So it's hard to be social. People are nervous to move out to a place where it's real scenic and real beautiful. Even if they really enjoy it, they're like, we'll just go on vacation, or we'll get a lake house or something. We'll go from time to time, but I don't want to live there. There's nothing to do. So then you get this real niche, specific living situation that everyone is in search for. It's a place that looks nice, and there's a lot to do. And that's where you get the greatest cities in the world, right? I mean, you from New York to Los Angeles, two places that maybe I shouldn't have started the list with as of current. We're going to get into New York soon. I got some something interesting that I found. But anyway, you get into the greatest cities of the world. You can't deny that those two are some of the most historic and great cities of the world. But then you get to, Toronto and Rome and Paris and all these other places that are beautiful all over the place. Sydney, Australia. And I'm just assuming. I haven't been to half those places. I'm just assuming that they're really nice. But they have, they have that mix of a lot to do and people want to move there. Or it's beautiful. A lot to do and it's beautiful. Just like Austin, Texas, another one. That one's a recent one. Or this entire state of Florida, right? People love moving to Florida because there's no laws. You can beat people in the streets and then go to Disneyland right afterwards. You can get hammered and fuck hookers. And, it's commonplace. You can do it in a public setting in Florida. There's no rules. But Old Orchard Beach, and then, again, this is the same methodology when it comes to resorts and tourist destinations and that type of stuff. A place that people would want to stay for a little bit, and it looks nice. There's something to do, and that's Old Orchard Beach. I've only been once, but I look at pictures, and unless it is turned into a complete and absolute dump, which, hey, could be the case, and the guy who took pictures on the Airbnb is a liar, if that is the case. But nonetheless, it looks like it's going to be beautiful. I'd love to do. I don't know if I have a deck, but I think I have an outside area. A deck would have been perfect because I would love to do a I would love to do a outside podcast, which I've never done. Well, I shouldn't say I never did that. I did it with Nate that one time. But who cares? The month of August, I have recently been having mixed feelings with. Because at the beginning of the month, I was telling you guys about how, for whatever reason, it's consistently been a big month for me. And that's true this year as well. You know, it's true this year as well. And, but for whatever reason, I feel, I don't know, I feel like stuck in the mud, sort of. Like, I feel like it's a month where I've almost half taken off because of how abundant the opportunities have come to me. You know, like, I'm doing the industry room. Wow, I'm getting asked right now by Kim Donat, one of the ladies who puts together the show at Stand Up New York, just hit me up to do a mic in the city. But I can't because I already promised my family, and that sucks. I called out today. I totally would have gone to the city. Fuck. See, guys, this is why you gotta move from the nest. You gotta leave the nest. Leave the nest and let them keep building it. Let them keep building it. No. But I feel like just the abundance of opportunity I've gotten this month between the industry room and the festival, like I feel like it's made me lax a little bit. You know, it's weird. It's weird how that shit happens. It's made me lax a little bit in a lot of aspects. And I'm hoping that after this month, once it's, you know, commenced, which we're very close to being done with. This month is fucking flying, too. Very, very much flying. You know, and I've heard on, I think it was Gary V, whom I agree with and disagree with, right? I think he's a great, inspirational guy, but, you know, and I understand where he comes from and the whole thing. He just gets old, right? That person has been overdone so much now. I know he was early on. He got it early on, so he's like one of the godfathers of it, but that person that you just got to go, man. You got to get it. You got to get after it. You got to go. You got to go. You got to get out there. It's not that hard. You just got to do it. You got to go. Just like I used to be when I first started this thing. Not to personalize it and make myself sound like it, but it's true. I saw these guys and was like, yeah, that's a good idea. Go all the time. Never stop. Never. And there's a part of me that still believes that, you know? There's a part of me that still thinks that we should all just mindlessly attack something all the time. There's a part of, well, at least maybe not all of us, but me, right? There's a part of me that is like, just go out there and fucking rub your face into the grindstone until it becomes a fucking mass of twisted flesh. But you got to the point that you wanted to get to. And that's how I want to attack comedy. It's just been, as of recent, like, so much of a hassle to go out to these places. Because what happens to us, guys, is we get a sense of accomplishment when we do something big, which is normal, right? And for me, doing Broadway Comedy Club, doing well, it did that for me. I was like, damn, I feel like I did fucking phenomenal. And it, you know, it took a little bit out of my... how can I say this? It took a little bit of steam out of my my warpath that I've been on with this shit. And recognizing that and understanding that there's a chance of it, you know, coming back, understanding that it could just be a momentary lapse in judgment, then, you know, you have a better chance of figuring it the fuck out as soon as you can. Also, I mean, I think August is one of those months. I never got to what I was saying about Gary V. He was like, August is a month where some people take off and some people need to vamp it up. And, you know, not saying that makes it justified for me, but it, you know, it's interesting to hear that a sentiment like that, like why the month of August? Because I always thought of August as a skip over month, I already said that before, but August and March, I don't think about those months. So I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's the end of summer. The end of the summer, everyone's trying to get stuff back together. Everyone's trying to get ready for the fall now. No one really takes days as they are. Everyone's always planning for the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And I'm guilty of it too, but it is the end of the summer. We're getting close to the end of the summer, but you can't dwell on that shit because it is still the summer. We still do have nice weather. We can still do summer things, It doesn't need to be. And I know everyone's happier in the summer. Woohoo! We're happy. We can be outside. We can wear less clothes. We can get drunk every day if we want, just because it's beautiful out. Look at all the beautiful outdoor seating. Look at the deck we can sit on near the water and drink margaritas until we fucking pass out. And eat. Eat and drink and eat and drink. That's the summertime. Eat, drink, swim. Eat, drink, do drugs. Eat, drink, go on a vacation. Eat, drink, eat, drink, eat. That's what it is, right? That's the summertime for everybody. You go to the beach. You go to the lake. You have cookouts. The weather. It's the weather, right? It's the weather. People just want to chill in the summertime. It's very different than the beginning of the year. And very different than the end of the year. And it's almost like the summer is everybody's break time, right? It's everybody's break time because we're getting closer than we've been all year to the holidays, and I am very excited for the holidays this year. We've done two holiday seasons on the show, right? Last year we had a lot of fun. We did a marathon episode every day. A lot of fun episodes on that one. And then I don't remember what I did the first year, but this year is going to be a blast. It's going to be a blast because you guys can tell that I am at my most maniacal when it comes to the holidays, right? When the holidays arrive, I have material for days. I can come on here and just talk about what's going on outside. The news has great shit on the holidays. I love the holidays. I have just today found my love for this time of year. Historically, I dislike Christmas. I'm not a big fan of Thanksgiving. I don't love holidays in general. There's some that I'm biased toward. I like the 4th of July because it's in the summer. And I like Halloween because spooky shit is cool. Everything else, including my birthday, I don't really care. Realistically, I don't care. It's nice. We get to eat like fat pigs. We get to engage in gluttonous activity for months at a time. It's great, guys. And you get to do it with the warmth of your family around you. And it's extra warm because everyone's big. Everyone's been eating. Everyone's been eating for 3 months straight, right? Everyone has just been, because you start Christmas shopping, if you're a professional, you start early, right? Not too early because the kids just went back to school in September. You probably had to spend money on clothes and school supplies and all that shit. So you got to get prepped for that. Then if you're a professional, middle of October, you start divvying out, you start slowly chipping away at that Christmas list. You want that shit done. Your presents are going to be wrapped at the end of fucking November if you're a real professional. So you're already thinking of that. So you're planning that. And if you're an adult, if you're a parent, if you're a fucking whatever, that's actually something that you have to think about, especially if you have a bunch of people you have to buy for. So it takes time. You got to divvy it out, especially if you're living on the scant life like myself. So you got to figure that out. And that starts in the middle of October. So now that's taking time out of your day. You're not going to cook. You're not going to do certain things. This is real, guys. This isn't just theory. This is what happens. That's why it's the busiest season. You're going to go out. You're going to eat. You're going to order out. You're going to order out instead because it's so busy. I got to check out the deals. We got to go here. We got to go there. And you're planning for Halloween. right? Now you're also planning for Halloween. And that could start at the beginning of the month for some people. If you got kids who really enjoy it, or if you enjoy it as an adult, now you got to figure out what you're going to do. You might have a Halloween party, right? Now things are starting to ramp up. You got to get the kids costumes. You got to buy candy. You got to make sure, everything's squared away for the party you're going to have at the end of the month. Get all the while you're still thinking about Christmas gifts if you're a professional. So you run through that month, eating takeout. Halloween is one of the biggest pizza holidays of the year. You're eating pizza, you're eating candy. Then you go into Thanksgiving, the month of Thanksgiving, November. Now you got to get ramped up for Thanksgiving. You got to get ready for the food. Who's going where? We going there? What are we bringing? What do we need? Do you need this? Still, back of the mind, Christmas. Eating out, going out, or ordering in, whatever the fuck. Then you got the month of fucking December, where you got 3 fucking holidays. Christmas Eve, Christmas, and then New Year's, right? You go right into New Year's. And that month is just, so the whole time. And then don't forget, I totally forgot about Black Friday, right? You can't forget about Black Friday. That's its own holiday. And then Cyber Monday. You guys know those are some of my favorite things to talk about because it is a blatant and beautiful example of what it is that we have achieved and how and it makes the way that we did it all even better. Like the fact that we have built an industry based on holidays that all require you to spend money for other people in different ways. You're buying costumes, you're buying gifts, you're buying food, you're buying booze. You're buying decorations, you're buying accessories, like stockings and fucking wrapping paper and tape. You know what I'm saying? It is huge, and you're spending money because you're driving around, and then people, their minds are taken off of things, so they got to eat or they got to go out to eat. So that industry, it is just a booming economy for those 3 months. It is booming, and that is where we make. As a country, that's where the genius came in, because that is a time where production is up, morale is up for a lot of people, because everyone's just living like Larry, baby. Everyone's just going, and people need to understand that every bad thing that we've done as a country, which all countries do, okay? There's killing, there's murder in every country. They murder people, they kill, they do awful fucking things. But what we got for it, I mean, it doesn't even compare, guys. It doesn't compare to anywhere else. I hope you understand this. So when people want to complain about America, which I like to do as well, I remind myself that a bunch of Afghanistani people, right? That's not even what you call them. A bunch of the people of Afghanistan got bombed and murdered for that guy that you just heard ride down the street on his big, loud, annoying motorcycle to do that, right? Same thing with you guys out there. Same thing with you guys who enjoy playing Xbox. Same thing with you guys that like going to Chili's, drinking margaritas. Same thing with you guys that like nice cars and nice homes and nice motorcycles and sneakers. Same thing with the people that like good movies and good music and cheap entertainment and vacation packages and cruises and fast food and the endless supply of gadgets that we can get. Any of that stuff. If you like tools, if you like grills, if you like fucking books, well, maybe not those. We like to burn those. But if you like, we got it. We got it all, guys. We literally got it all. And we did it by killing the most people. We did it the best. And people forget that. That's where we are as a country, guys. We have forgotten that we received massive spoils. Massive spoils. Everything we have are considered spoils. They are the spoils of fucking murderous military campaigns, military industrialism. You understand that? It is phenomenal. And people want to look past it. People want to look past it, call people out. Well, this is bad. Yes, it's bad. But remind yourself that you can go get a 4 for 4 at 4 a.m. if you fucking want. Anywhere. That's a universal thing. So be happy with it. Be happy with it. And understand that the holiday season in this country is a driving factor in that market. Every season, right? Every season has something. That's why there's so many holidays. That's why there's a holiday every other fucking month, right? January, it's the beginning of the year, so gyms and health foods and all these things, those are going to go up. All memberships, anything where you can start a membership, they're going to have a deal on it. For a beginning of the year membership, boom. And then February is Valentine's Day. And then it's fucking St. Patty's Day. And then we got Easter. And then we got Mother's Day. And then Father's Day. And then 4th of July. Nothing really in August. Maybe that's why it's weird. Maybe August is weird because we don't have a holiday where we can gluttonize everything. We can spend money and we can eat and drink. You just have to do it all day. All day, every day, the month of August. And then September, you got Labor Day, but really it's the kids going back to school. It's like it's rounding out the year. It's the beginning. For whatever reason, September doesn't have like a real big holiday. Labor Day is, I guess, it's a day off, but nobody's, going crazy. I mean, Labor Day weekend is a good thing. People have a good time. But, I never really looked at it as the caliber of some of those other holidays. And it's really more like the beginning of the end of the year, and for whatever reason, it's like the end of the summer. It's like a snap back into reality almost. And then holiday season. Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's, all over again. Black Friday, Cyber Monday, all mixed in between. It's all just spending money, 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 spending money. Spending money. That's what all the holidays are, man. I'm just not a big fan of them. Birthdays, I'm all right. I'm okay. I'm okay with all that shit. And that's why I love the holiday season, because I love America. I do. And I know you guys do too. And it is our right to fuck around and scream horrible shit about it and call them out on their bullshit. But just remember that we do have it pretty goddamn good. We have it pretty goddamn good when you call out those injustices. Now, I did want to get into an article I read about New York. The state that I love, the city that never sleeps. I mean, you walk around there and it's, the state of New York, is, just to go back on that point from earlier, there's a lot of shitty parts of that place too, A lot of shitty parts of New York. And I don't mean just the city, and I'd love to go upstate. I've never been upstate, but I'd like to go up there just for some hiking and some views. But again, conflict. Nobody wants to live there, nothing to do, even though it's beautiful. But as some of you guys can imagine, and I'm sure you guys have heard, the New York apartment scene, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, the situation in New York City, including Brooklyn and Queens, but this is more like a Manhattan thing, this article. But across the board, it's been declining. It's been declining. It's like a knife fight, right? I forgot who said that. I think it was Tim Dillon. It's like a knife fight out there talking about something. But it's people, the prices are incredibly high. They're incredibly high, and there's a monumental demand, and supposedly it's because of TikTok. It's because of TikTok not enthusiasts. Imagine being a TikTok enthusiast. All you do is review TikToks. You're a TikTok reviewer. You're like a fucking food critic for TikToks. But anyway, influencers, TikTok influencers are trying to move there, and they're bringing people they go and they view the apartment and they video it and they put it on their TikTok, and then people are like, yeah, and they want to go because people are just mindless fucking robots who are, for whatever reason, influenced by this person. Influenced by their 6-second videos, whatever they are. They're longer than that. I get it. Or their pictures. They're really aesthetic pictures with the colors are off, but they work. And there's pails and there's different shades of salmon. Right? It's a beautiful color, and it's just artsy, and there's picture, and there's flowers that just contrast the beige wall, the plain beige wall, and there's a woman who's kind of, you can't really, she's racially ambiguous, you know, she might be Asian, she could be from the Eastern Bloc, right? You never know, and she's got a bob, with real jet black, and it just works so well with the flowers and her dress, and it's perfect, right? And then you follow her all the time, you follow her everywhere, and you follow her to the city that she moves in, and you drive the price up, and you're making it hard for these young, beautiful people with minimal talent. You're making it hard for them because they have hacked the system, guys. Whether we want to admit it or not, they've hacked the system. They have minimal talent, right? Some of them have talent, okay? They have some kind of talent. They all make more money than me, okay? They make more money than me. They figured out the fucking system. And they're doing it. They're doing it, but not with a ton of talent and merit, right? They're not talented, right? Someone who's talented doesn't necessarily mean they're going to become famous or well-known, right? Think about all the incredibly talented cello players for the, that attend Berkeley in Boston, Berkeley School of Music, right? Think about them. Nobody knows who the fuck they are. And people may never know who the fuck they are unless they're in the know of fucking cello music. And they're incredibly talented. Think about the incredibly talented comedians or fighters or musicians or anything that nobody will ever know about. These people have the perfect combination of being born in the right generation, being beautiful, right? Most of them are really attractive people. That's why people want to get influenced by them, right? Everyone gives attractive people passes. Right? That's why Ted Bundy was so successful, because everyone found him so visually and verbally attractive, right? He could speak well, he had a silver tongue, and motherfuckers believed him. Then he killed him. So Ted Bundy's really the OG of TikTok, if you think about it. If you break it down in those terms. But anyway, it's a bit of a reaching a little, but, either way, they figured it out, and they're doing it on, very little, they're just kind of videoing their lives or a dance or, something small or taking those pictures that I was talking about. And that's what it is. And they figured it out, and the people who enjoy them are making it tough for them to live in Manhattan. Now, Kelly Stamps, I don't know who she is. She was featured in this article, though. Kelly Stamps, some of you might know her. She has like 100,000 followers on Instagram. She's 26 years old. She does exactly what I was talking about. She takes those pictures. If you go to her Instagram, that's what her pictures are like. And she's 26, and they quote her. And she said, I was like, screw this city. I almost moved to Boston. And she said that before securing a $3,500 a month studio on the Upper East Side of Manhattan. Wow. Her life must be... You mean to tell me I have to pay $3,500 to live in the most prestigious part of this fucking city? In the most prestigious city in this fucking country, which is the most prestigious country in the fucking... You mean to tell me I got to pay... I'm 26 years old. Okay, do you know how many people follow me? I own a small country of people on my Instagram. I'll leave. I'll leave from one of the best cities. Imagine that. Imagine that's your hard time. You have to move from one of the best cities in the country to another one of the best cities in the country. I'm going to leave New York to go to Boston. Wow. What a downgrade. What a massive downgrade. You know, I mean, you could look at it as a downgrade, definitely. But, I mean, realistically, what a problem to have. What a problem to have. I can't live in the Upper East Side, but I can, right, because it happened. But she was like, screw this city. Well, I hope that something happens and people stop trying to move there and the prices go down real low. I hope it hits the bottom next April and I can get myself a 2-room in Midtown for $600 a month. That's how bad I hope it gets. I will move in knowing that there are continuous riots going on outside my window. People getting murdered, just bodies strewn about, people driving 110 miles an hour in armored vehicles. If the apocalypse happens in New York City because a bomb has dropped somewhere in the area, but they're still renting in Midtown, and I could get myself a nice place with a nice podcast studio for $600, I mean, for cheap, come on, guy, that's prime real. You can't pass that up. I don't care if there's nuclear fallout in the water. I don't care if there's marauders in the street and people willing to do anything to see you not breathe anymore or to get your money or just whatever. People are doing whatever they have to do to survive. If that's what's going on outside, if the apocalypse is going, I'm still going to go because comedy's probably going to be booming, right? There's going to be a lot of jokes to be said. And it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. If that's the case, I mean, that's what I want. That's what I want. I'm looking for that. You know, it's just like when Italy was getting whacked with COVID, hard body, and tickets were fucking $200 to fly out of Boston. Just fly to Italy for $200, 8-hour flight. Cheap as a motherfucker. That's what I want. That's what I want. But after COVID, I mean, prices went down. And they went back up in terms of New York City because people wanted to leave. And then maybe now it'll get too inflated and motherfuckers will leave. And people will slowly start to funnel out of that bitch and make way for the next wave of animals to hopefully shape the city in some way. One more thing before we close this out, because as a matter of fact, I am exhausted. I'm sitting here, I'm seeing stars, right? It's weird because behind the camera that I'm looking at, I have those blinds, like those standard white blinds that go across, and there's light shining through them, and it's fucking with me, and it's like, it's giving me like vertigo. But anyway, plus, I worked real late last night. I went to bed real late last night. It was murderous. That's why I called out today. Because fuck them, realistically. I didn't make nearly as much money as I wanted to on a double on a Saturday in a fucking casino when there's a UFC pay-per-view going on. I didn't make dog shit, so I was like, fuck you guys. Quiet quitting, remember? I'm living it, guys. I'm living it. I hope I can be the voice for some of you people out there. Fuck them. Fuck them. If you're making money and you got a good relationship with your boss and your coworkers, I understand. Do what you have to do, right? This isn't for you. This is for you guys who don't really hang out with anyone from work. You don't have any real connections with anyone from work. Maybe a couple guys, you talk to them, you whatever, you bullshit. You don't really care for your boss. Your boss is kind of, on an island, not just actually in real life, but figuratively, he's kind of like over there. You see him every once in a while, you say hi or, whatever. You guys aren't really too personable. It's, for you and you're there and you're just kind of doing your job. That's for you guys. That lifestyle is for you guys. Quiet quitting. 'Cause fuck that shit, fuck that shit. Mohegan Sun is huge. I get all these points. I don't know what my points are at now after calling out today, but I only had 1.5. You need like 9 to point out. And I'm only going to be there till next April, guys. I really don't care. And it's not like I'm making any money anyway. That's why this month of August has been a little tough on me mentally, because it's kind of pulling me in both directions. I'm getting opportunity, but I'm also slacking on money. Like, if I wasn't going to Maine this week, it would be, I would make rent fine. But now I'm probably going to have to take out money or do something extra. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But anyway, someone who everybody has been talking about, Andrew Tate, right? Now, I haven't mentioned really anything about him because I don't know a ton about him. Other than that, he was a kickboxer at one point, a legit fighter. I know his whole aura is, being a masculine fucking guy. I see clips. Some of the stuff he says is interesting, and I see where he's coming from. Some of it's a little outrageous. A woman, he always talks about women can't drive and women can't do this, and supposedly he's, a pimp, or he's got sexual assault or sexual sex trafficking things on his record and whatever else. I don't know. I don't know the whole thing. All I know is that he's kind of a controversial guy, and everybody is either up in arms or they agree with what he says. And he was just banned off of Facebook and taken down at least. Taken down off Instagram and Facebook. And nobody knows why. No one knows why. It just said he violated their terms. That's it. Violated the terms of service. You know that thing that nobody bothers to read because it's so fucking long and drawn out? Kind of like the bills that get passed in Congress. Those big, long documents that nobody reads through and rereads and can really understand and grasp what's going on. That's pretty much what those things are, the terms of service. And everyone's going to check yes because they want to be able to have a platform. This guy wants to be able to scream at people about how women can't drive. He wants to be able to scream at men about how you can't jerk off. Don't jerk off. Don't jerk off. If you jerk off, then you're a pussy. You're a pussy. You can't be a pussy. I can't do his voice. He's got like a weird English, because his dad was Indian, I think. His dad was a chess player, but he grew up in England. But he's got like a weird accent. He's got a real weird accent. I smoke cigars and I drink whiskey and I lift weights. I don't understand. I don't understand what you're talking. I can't do it. But anyway, it is unfortunate, right? Regardless of whether you agree with him or not. Like I said, there's some things that I see where he's coming from and I may agree with him on, and other things, I don't know. I don't think that it's powerful I think it's more powerful for a man to be able to turn that masculine shit on and off. A lot of people talk shit about Jordan Peterson, and for good reason, but he's another guy that, you can look at him as controversial. You can think some of the things he says make sense and others don't. So I get that. I understand that. But there was something that he said that being able to, what do you say? A calm man is not a good man or some shit. Being able to be a maniac or a hard man or whatever when necessary is more powerful. Like being able to turn it on and off is more powerful. That's basically what it is. I butchered the fucking quote. All right, guys, I'm sorry. Like I said, I don't listen to the motherfucker. But that's a point that I completely agree with. If you're just a fucking animal all the time as a man, I mean, you're not complete. You're not a complete human. All you are is a fucking gorilla. That's how you are. That's another thing I saw with, I think it was Kevin Gates in The Breakfast Club. He's like, you're a gorilla all the time with your kids, the woman you love. That's how you act. And I saw that shit. I'm like, yeah, I mean, what the fuck? That's true. It is true. And I don't know. Maybe this dude feels the same way. Maybe he doesn't. It doesn't really matter to me. But what matters is that that guy who had millions of followers, who had a following, a legitimate following, wasn't inciting violence, might be a sex trafficker. Okay. I understand. You might want to, get rid of that. Okay. You might not want to give that guy a platform. But let's not forget that O.J. Simpson is on Twitter. Okay. Let's not forget that he's on Twitter and that, all these old school rock stars have Instagrams. What were they doing, right? What were those guys doing before? Okay? Let's not forget that. Let's not forget about those blatant examples, okay? But he doesn't really, as far as I know, incite violence. Maybe he does. And even if he does, I mean, who gives a fuck? It's really the people who tune in. You're not going to... You can take him down, but those people who tune in already share an ideology with him. You follow what I'm saying? Whatever it is, Alex Jones, those people, if they want, they can just fucking collaborate somehow, realistically, right? I mean, the way they're able to collaborate, I understand, is they listen to Alex Jones and whatever. But these people already, outside of Alex Jones' power, they went and fucked his whole world up because they went and started emailing the Sandy Hook people. He may have incited that, or those people went on their own accord and said, we all agree with that, let's go and do this. All it took was someone to say it, right? So it's kind of a fine line. Like, if no one said it, would they have gone out and done that? But I don't think that getting rid of the person is the right thing to do, right? Because I've said it in the past, I mean... Violence is incited all the time by people in positions of power, right? Roe v. Wade, or Trump's response to George Floyd. Riots in the street is what happened because the president didn't give a fuck, more or less, about a terrible thing that happened. That's all I'm saying. And, I mean, you need a guy like this anyway. I was talking about this in the chat. You need a guy like Andrew Tate in today's climate, right? Because there are so many people who are trying to knock down this idea of being masculine. You can't be masculine anymore as a man. You got to be a passive man. You got to be understanding. As if you can't be masculine and understanding and passive at times. You can't be a masculine man and be passive? I don't mean in my mind, when I think of the word masculine, I don't think of asshole that argues. That doesn't come to mind. That just all I think of is asshole, right? That doesn't mean that you're masculine in any way. But there's this, toxic masculinity, which is an old fucking topic, by today's standards at least, because the new thing is always... it comes quicker than fucking, comes quicker than a virgin. Quick little pun there for you. But it's really just, it's people attacking this idea of doing man shit. And men talk shit, they drink, they cuss, they say fucked up things. But good men, at the end of the day, do the right thing for the people they love and yada, yada, yada. They can do both. Right? They don't need to be snipped of their sack. They don't need to be castrated. They don't need to be attacked for doing certain things as long as they're not harming people. Or, okay, maybe they hurt someone's feelings. So fucking what? So what? Their feelings, they heal. Usually. Unless something somebody said causes you to spiral, you go home and you kill yourself. I mean, that's, that could happen. That could happen, I suppose. Anything could happen. But either way, a guy like Andrew Tate is pretty, flagrantly masculine. And that's his brand, and he champions it. And you need that to combat the other extreme, because most people are in the middle, kind of like what I'm saying. Most men aspire to be, strong, and they're providers, and they want to help, and, they want to do what's right by the people they love. That's usually how it is. For men, not all of them want to be fucking animals, and not all of them want to be fucking softies. In fact, most of them are leaning toward the animal side, but it's most people are in the middle. Put it that way. Most people are in the middle, and you need the other side to combat it. It's just like having, left wing and right wing news stations. If you want people to Well, when it comes to the news, it's more like a scary thing. But it does allow for people to be in the middle, right? That don't let me, digress there. It does allow for people to be in the middle because they can see both extremes. It does cause extremism, right? Having two extremes, of course, causes extremism because there is an influence there. But it does allow for open-minded people to listen to both sides and make a decision, which may leave them in the middle. It may leave them leaning to one way, or maybe they agree with just one side. Everything that one side says is bond. Fuck it. That's what they choose. But you need both. You need both, and you need more than two. You need everything in between. But the pillars to an enlightened view of something is to see it at both ends of the spectrum, to see it at its extreme at both points. When it's at its highest, when it's at its lowest, when it's at its, when it's this aspect A versus the exact inverse of it. So A and negative A. You know what I'm saying? Like the good and the bad. It's got to be just so you can, if you're someone who tries to look at things objectively, or subjectively. What's the word I'm looking for? Objectively? Yeah, I think objectively is the right one. Yeah, we'll go with that. And make a decision, then, that's the way you want to do it. And that's the best way to have that shit happen, I mean, to have a completely woke mob, extreme liberal media, which is a lot of what it is now. It's, you need the crazy and wild ones. You need to have the guys, the people on YouTube who are willing to go against the grain, just to give everybody a way to come up with their own opinions, come up with their own ideas, and that's the way it should be done, motherfuckers. And that's why I don't think Andrew Tate should be taken off of anything. I think he should be allowed to do whatever the fuck he wants, whenever the fuck he wants, however the fuck he wants to do it, except for the sex trafficking, right? I don't necessarily... I mean, I guess he can do that, right? Everything's absurd. You guys know how I feel about that. But it would be better if he didn't, right? It would be better if he didn't sex traffic little Romanian girls. It would be better, right? It would be a better look. Maybe if he didn't have a history of doing any of that, he would still be on the meta platforms. Right? I mean, everyone's going to be in the metaverse, and he's going to be out there on an island, banging broads, doing kickboxing with lots of money, casinos, the whole thing. So I don't know. It's all how you look at it. It's all how you feel. And I think that brings us to the end of the show for today. Thank you guys for listening. Dates again this week, 25th. We got a show, and then the 27th, we got two shows, all in Maine, Portland, Maine Comedy Festival. Tickets, they're free. You just go. They're first come, first serve. There's a bunch of different venues in Portland, Maine. It's gonna be so much fun. I'm excited to do podcasts. I'm excited to do the shows. I'm excited for everything. And we're going to have a lot of content for you after that. After that, I'm hoping we have a ton of content. I have a great system of breaking it down that I think is going to work. And, man, I'm super excited. I'm super excited for the whole process. And it's a big investment. I mean, I spent a lot of money on this. I'm not charging the kid. I'm not charging Raph. Yeah, the kid. I'm not charging Raph to come with me. I'm also not paying him. So it's like, whatever. The Airbnb was expensive, but I'm thinking that it'll be a good investment. And it'll give us a lot of content, a lot of shit. So... that's happening, and then Broadway Comedy Club, September 10th. I'm doing two shows, the 10 o'clock, the 11 o'clock. Very, very fun. And that's it, motherfuckers. I'll talk to you on Thursday. Peace. I'm back to reiterate all the stuff that I said at the top of the show. Follow and subscribe. Bye-bye.